This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on 39 Dunedin News, good times for Dunedin hotels, and we have details on how the boom is set to continue. A call for a change to the rules when it comes to getting your full driver's licence. And we tell you why a winning Homebrew is being mass-produced for everyone to sample. Good evening, Dunedin. I'm Callum Proctor. Dunedin hotel operators are celebrating a stellar year with a drastic upswing in occupancy numbers across the board. The success is revealed in the latest data from the Tourism Industry Association of New Zealand, and the local visitor sector's set to receive a further boost.
It's a good time to be in Dunedin's hotel industry, with the highest occupancy rates in 5 years, revealed by the National Tourism Association. Enterprise Dunedin Director John Christie puts the boom down to an increased awareness of the city, boosted by the reopening of prominent local facilities.
The town hall's now fully functional. We've got other great assets that are owned by DVML in the city, and I think the rest of the country is now starting to see those opportunities in terms of coming here for conferencing and other events, and we're reaping some of those rewards.
Many local hotels enjoyed more than 70% occupancy last year, and that's contributed millions of dollars to the local economy. Christie says the success is encouraging and shows hard work securing conferences and other events is paying off. And the future's also looking bright.
An example of that is the Local Government New Zealand conference that will be held here next year with up to 600 delegates coming into the city. So that's not the end of it. We're just starting to see, obviously, that Dunedin is on the radar for a lot of these organisations.
Christie expects to see occupancy rates continue to rise across the city. He says the upcoming cruise ship season's promising to bring even more people to the city than last year, and even more cruise ship passengers are expected in 2017. That's on top of the higher number of Kiwis visiting Dunedin, support which is paying off big time in terms of business investment.
I know if there's at least 10 restaurants that are looking to open in the city. We're also seeing other private sector operators that are entering the market. The new Distinction Hotel that's going to open shortly with an additional 120 beds in the city.
Christie says local hospitality and tourism is moving in the right direction, but there's still work to do. And with a significant 2016 event calendar lineup, he's hopeful the positivity will spread beyond local hotels. David DeLorean, 39 Dunedin News.
Some of the city's prominent public features are being dressed for a national day of recognition. Scarves and woggles are decorating a range of local features for the second annual National Scout Scarf Day. All past and present Scouts are encouraged to wear their scarves and woggles to work or school, and a group of local members have adorned iconic public features around the city. They include the molars on Portsmouth Drive, as well as the cenotaph in Queen's Gardens. Several scarves have also been placed around the Octagon and in the Botanic Garden. There are more than 21,000 current Scouts and over 400 groups in New Zealand. University of Otago researchers are calling for driver's licence time reductions to be scrapped. Those who complete defensive driving courses can get their full licences faster, but a local study shows that policy has dangerous side effects.
Defensive driving and street talk courses are designed to improve driver safety and responsibility. As an added incentive, course participants are able to apply for their full licence faster. Dr. Rebecca Brookland of the University of Otago is involved in a major research project looking into that time discount, and the results of the study are startling.
Something's happened and they actually had an increased risk of having a traffic infringement notice, and it was 40% increased risk when we just look at the association between having a time discount and a subsequent traffic offence.
Speeding's the most common offence of first-year full licence drivers who have taken road safety courses. and a higher proportion are caught speeding than those who don't do the courses. Brookland says the big question is why.
What you could potentially hypothesise is that they were really keen drivers to get through GDL as soon as possible, so they were very compliant, law-abiding during that stage because they potentially didn't want to slow that process down.
She says even when factors like age and gender are taken into account, there's still an increased risk of traffic offending among time-discounted drivers. So she's calling for that time reduction to be scrapped.
This research, along with other New Zealand research that looked at traffic crashes after full licensure, both show that those who have the time discount go on to be riskier full licensed drivers. So it's actually got a safety disbenefit.
Brookland's among a core team of about 5 researchers who have spent more than a decade on this study, and she's alarmed by what it's revealed. So she's hoping her call for change will be heeded to make the roads much safer. David DeLorean, 39, Dunedin News.
Local arts organisations are getting a boost from the latest Otago Community Trust's grants. $60,000 is going to the Dunedin-based Southern Sinfonia. The local musical theatre company is receiving just over half that amount, and the Dunedin Street Art Charitable Trust is being given $7,500. Funding's also being allocated to Otago Polytechnic's Art School, as well as the local chamber music company and youth orchestra. Money's also being put towards the upcoming Vogel Street Party. A local man's homebrew is being mass-produced for public sale. He's making hundreds of litres of beer after winning the homebrew contest at Dunedin's Craft Beer and Food Festival. And his drop is being perfected with professional help.
It's every home brewer's dream, concocting the perfect beer with some of Dunedin's finest brewers. Brett Huliston savouring the chance to recreate his winning recipe on a grand scale, having entered the preferred dark porter at last year's Craft Beer and Food Festival.
I've been an avid home brewer for the last 10 or so years, and so it always interests me, so I'll give it a crack.
And that's paying off, with the beer set to be featured in this year's festival. The winning brew is based on a robust porter with added bourbon oak chips for flavour. And although he's an award-winning brewer, Huliston remains modest.
It was a bit of a shock, really. I didn't really rate their beer that highly myself, so it was good.
Emerson's brewery staff are helping Huliston make 400 litres of his specialty brew. And senior brewer Jim Falconer says the process for large-scale production is much the same as brewing at home.
Sometimes there's a few issues with scaling up, but it's not a huge jump from the volume he's done to what we're brewing, so it's basically just a matter of increasing percentages of malts, and should be pretty close, hopefully.
This is the second time the brewery's been involved with the festival and the accompanying homebrew competition. And for those who want to enter this year's contest, Falconer has some advice.
Biggest one in a homebrew situation is just being really conscious of keeping everything as clean as you can, which is one of the big things we do all day, every day, is a lot of cleaning, and recording things so that you know exactly what you've done and you can reproduce them that way. So, being a bit pedantic.
He's enjoying the opportunity to work with local home brewers and impart some brewing wisdom. And he's looking forward to the festival's return in November when Huliston's brew will be filling punters' pints. Ruby McAndrew, 39, Dunedin News.
Still to come on 39 Dunedin News, a local fashion designer joins us to talk about her international opportunity, and later a local movie producer returns home to show off her latest film.
A lifestyler to me is a person maybe wanting to escape the hustle and bustle of a big city. Wanting some animals, maybe able to grow their own veggies, have chickens, get their own hens. A lifestyle block can be your supermarket. Just a good way of living, and a lot of people enjoy that rather than being in a city. A very sustainable way to live.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Wake up time and another frantic day ahead for Haraway's oat singles. With 3 delicious flavours in each pack, they don't last long with this family. They're so convenient and tasty, and they're ready in seconds. Haraway's oat singles are the ideal breakfast or snack on the run for today's busy families. And there's a flavour to suit everyone. Beat the rush and make sure you get your favourite flavour. Haraway's oat singles. Try new Kiwi Favourites Caramel Variety Pack.
For 30 years, Southern Clams have harvested New Zealand littleneck clams in the coastal waters of Otago. Hand harvesting to order at the right place and time ensures perfection of every clam you eat. New Zealand littleneck clams, harvested for you by Southern Clams.
Discover New Zealand's most innovative museum, Toitu Otago Settlers Museum. 14 stunning galleries, 3 distinct architectural styles, and a million intriguing stories are yours to discover at Toitu Otago Settlers Museum. Open daily next to Dunedin Railway Station and with free admission. Toitu Otago Settlers Museum.
Hedges are something we almost take for granted. A good hedge needs regular maintenance to look its best and to add value and character to your property. For all your hedge care needs, call the team at SGC Services on 0800 783 453.
Big Orange, for all your movies, records, books and games. Pre-loved needs and vinyl records, 45s, DVDs. A South Dunedin family-owned business for over 15 years. Check us out on Facebook, opposite Westpac on the sunny side of King Edward Street.
Tune into Girls Talk on Dunedin Television, where we show you what's hot in Dunedin.
Welcome back. Manufacturing and export sales remain down compared to this time last year, although they're slowly improving. The latest data has been compiled by the New Zealand Manufacturers and Exporters Association. Its business conditions survey shows total sales in June were down 6.5% and export sales decreased almost 12% year on year. But confidence is rising from May's low, with a small number of firms reporting modest increases in productivity. Overall staff numbers for June are up 4%. And on that note, let's check today's financial summary. And to the markets firstly, the NZX 50 finishing the week's trading down 60 points to 5869. To the exchange rates and the Kiwi dollar down against the Australian today, but up against the other major currencies that we monitor. Well, a local fashion designer has been invited to show at Vancouver Fashion Week for the second consecutive season. Melanie Child is now scouting for sponsorship to attend the international event, and she joins us to talk about the opportunities and the challenges that local designers face. Good evening, Melanie.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Well, firstly, congratulations on being invited back again.
Oh, thank you, it's a huge honour.
Tell us more about this invitation to Vancouver.
Well, a couple of weeks ago I received an email from one of the PR agents for Vancouver Fashion Week inviting me to showcase at their Spring-Summer 2016 event. Which is a pretty amazing opportunity because this is the second time consecutively that they've invited me. So both times it was by separate agents.
Were you expecting the invitation again?
No, I wasn't actually, because I was already tied up with another fashion show the last time, so it came completely out of the blue.
So what do you need then in order to make sure you get there?
About $8,000 to $10,000 is what I would need, which is a huge amount for me, which covers the designer registration fees, flights and accommodation.
So how are you going to go about raising those funds?
Well, at the moment I've applied for a couple of sponsorship packages through a couple of big New Zealand businesses. One is through Air New Zealand and the other is through New Zealand Wines. And I'm just sort of getting myself out there. I've been posting on social media and I'm probably going to be doing some of my own fundraising as well, like raffles and things like that.
So I mean, how valuable would the show be for you to attend again?
It would be amazing for a small label such as my own to attend an international event like this. Would provide huge exposure for my brand, but it's not just about me. It would be an opportunity for me to represent New Zealand sustainable fashion at an international event and really put the spotlight on New Zealand as a sustainable fashion hub.
So Melanie, what challenges do local designers like yourself face at the moment in getting international exposure?
Well, for me personally, it's a lack of capital funding. There's not really a lot out there for fashion design in terms of once you've finished tertiary study, in terms of securing funding and sponsorship, and also with a small label like my own, if you're not established already, it can be quite hard to get the sponsorship from businesses because you're not a proven business yet.
Are opportunities like this becoming more common for local designers, or are they still hard to come by?
I think they're becoming more common, and a lot of that is to do with social media. There are so many social media platforms out there now that it's providing. I mean, Facebook, for example, you can have a page for free and you can reach thousands of people through that. For example, the agent that scouted me this time round found my profile on online platform, not just a label. So she contacted me from there. So I think it's definitely getting easier. Yeah.
So if you can raise the money and get to Vancouver, what would you be showcasing there?
I'd be showcasing a spring-summer collection, and it would be half streetwear and half couture. My label is all upcycled, so I make high-end women's wear out of existing garments. Similar to the suit you're wearing, I use a lot of menswear and a lot of denim.
So when's the show, and how much time have you got to get the funding in place?
There's actually a very short lead time. I only got the email 2 weeks ago, and the event runs from the 28th of September to the 4th of October this year. So I think that leaves me with about 6 weeks.
All right, well, good luck in finding that sponsorship, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Melanie. All right, after the break on 39 Dunedin News, a movie with close links to Dunedin screens here at the International Film Festival, and we have the result of this week's online poll on the removal of trees from the university campus.
Sir Bob Charles, New Zealand's greatest golfer and still going strong.
I'm sure that Sportsville was a contributing factor to my success, and I'll continue to use it.
Sir Bob Charles Sportsville, a product so good he puts his name to it.
Well, I believe Sportsville helps maintain your quality of life.
Now being used by active men and women globally to support strength and mobility.
It works for me.
Sir Bob Charles Sportsville in the new all-black pack. Call now for the Sportsville special. 0800 502 402.
Moving around the corner, overseas, Best Removals Otago Limited, specialists in household removals and business relocations, as well as packing materials, secure storage. Best Removals can do it all. 0800 266 834.
Big Orange, for all your movies, records, books and games. Pre-loved needs and vinyl records, 45s, DVDs. A South Dunedin family-owned business for over 15 years. Check us out on Facebook, opposite Westpac on the sunny side of King Edward Street.
Pregnant? Need to talk? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pregnancy counselling services are here to help. It's free, it's confidential. Call us now on 0800 773 462.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Oh, a lifestyler can be anybody. We look at a lifestyler as someone who perhaps has been a farmer and is retiring into a smaller block. It could be someone who's working here in Dunedin and has a few acres at home. It could be mum and the kids with the pony on an acre. You know, it's anyone that's got a little bit of land rather than just the quarter-acre section.
Well, among the latest international films showing in the city is one with strong local links. It's been produced and directed by a former Dunedin resident, and she's excited about returning home for its Southern Showcase.
This year's New Zealand International Film Festival presents a homecoming for Rebecca Tansley, the former Dunedin filmmaker now based in Auckland, and she's chuffed to be back in the South showing her latest creation to local audiences.
It's a really exciting opportunity to come back and bring my film here to the Regent, which is a beautiful theatre, and hear it and see it in front of Dunedin audiences. It's a great opportunity.
Her documentary about an Italian-born Auckland pianist is her first feature-length film. It's edited by another ex-Dunedinite, Thomas Gleeson, and Tansley says her time in the city helped her become a fully fledged filmmaker.
I had a very circuitous route through all sorts of other media, worked at NHNZ for a few years, and then I ran a restaurant, but finally started writing some short dramas, and this story came along.
Showing at the Octagon's Regent Theatre is a special privilege for Tansley. She's taken time to hold a question and answer session with viewers, and she's happy with the feedback she's received.
They've sort of laughed in the places where we hoped they might. Some of them have cried. They've all clapped at the end of the concert performance, which is in the film.
The film's about honouring one's creative passion, and Tansley hopes that resonates with viewers.
The response I've had from people of all kinds and musicians of all kinds actually can relate to it, because it's really about following your passion and sacrificing things to follow your dream.
She's touring with the film, leaving Dunedin for Christchurch tomorrow, and ultimately aims to show it in Italy, where she practices the Italian she learned here at university. Rosie Mannins, 39, Dunedin News.
A landscaping upgrade at the University of Otago includes the removal of about 50 trees from campus. Some have just been saved from the chopping block after a student's passionate plea. So this week's 39 Dunedin News online poll asked, does the removal of about 50 trees from the university bother you? And the yeses came back 65%, 35% said no. A local study shows many people who complete defensive driving courses end up committing traffic offences. And researchers say those courses shouldn't result in full driver's licences being fast-tracked. And so next week's 39 Dunedin News online poll asks the question, do defensive driving courses make better drivers? You can vote at our website, dunedintv.co.nz. All right, now recapping tonight's top stories on 39 Dunedin News. It's been a stellar season for the hotel industry, with the highest occupancy rates in 5 years, and more success is on the way. Local researchers say people who complete defensive driving courses often commit traffic offences soon after getting their full licences. And a local man's making hundreds of litres of his award-winning Homebrew for sale in the city's upcoming Craft Beer and Food Festival. All right, now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's Saturday edition of the ODT. We welcome in Barry Stewart.
G'day, Callum. $3.85 is the projected payout from Fonterra to dairy farmers, so that's potentially a huge blow to the economy, and we get reaction from farmers and the industry to that. And just a wee tip, don't put on your shorts yet. Snow is on the way. It's already falling inland, so not a good forecast. World Netball Champs start tonight. New Zealand plays its first game against Barbados. We'll have coverage of that. Also the build-up of the Bledisloe Cup Test match, which will be an interesting one. And the Weekend Magazine, the usual mix of food, fashion, puzzles, travel, lots of other things.
It's all there tomorrow. All right, keep warm this weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, Barry. All right, time now for a look at local weather.
This local weather report proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorn Sportsville.
Starting with today's city view of ducks coming into land at Woodhall Gardens. 3 p.m. temperatures today, and it's another cold one, 8 degrees in the central city, 10 at the Gardens, 9 on the Tyree. Situation map, that cold southerly airflow continues tomorrow and Sunday. An anticyclone, though, spreads over the country by Tuesday next week. Forecast around the main towns in the lower South Island for tomorrow: Invercargill, snow showers and 5. Snow showers for everyone. Gore, a high of just 4. 5 degrees for Tiano and Alexandra. Snow for Queenstown, a high of 4. Oamaru gets to 7. Wanaka 5. And Twizel gets the snow with a high of just 5 as well. For Dunedin tonight, snow above 200 metres, a low of 3 degrees. Tomorrow, some thundery showers, snow above 100 metres, high of 6, the low 3, and more hillside snow for Sunday with a high of 6. Finally, to the Southern Clams tidal and fishing information. High tide tomorrow morning, 10:30, low tide 20 past 5 in the afternoon. And for Sunday, 11:20, the high tide, 6:20 in the evening is the low tide. Fishing is good for tomorrow. Best it's about 5 past 7, and Sunday it's rated good as well, best at around 8 on Sunday morning. And that's all from the team here at 39 Dunedin News for this week. We'll leave you now with shots of the week that was, set to music by Lensko. And we'll see you again on Monday. Have a great weekend. Good night.
This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.